we try to stay fit so we can
Yeah.
carry the swag around.
Yeah. No, I was so buff. My grandma was like, "Can you bring the groceries in for me?" I was like, "Yeah." She didn't even ask my dad. She asked me first. I was,
It's like, not a problem. I've got
yeah, I
this.
got this.
Just the whole arm filled with bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always nice to be able to help out family in that way. Hi, everyone. Welcome to Culture Bites. My name is Tristan. I am Northern Tachoni from the Yukon, and I'm part of the Indigenous Youth Wellness team. Today, we are here with Amai, and we cannot wait to talk about wellness. I'll pass it to you for introductions.
Amai Konasqui, Tinitsanat, Musqueam. Hi everyone, my name is Amai Campbell. On my mom's side, I'm from Musqueam, and on my dad's, I'm Zimbabwean, and I am 18.
Welcome, Amai. I know that you just started university recently. You're going to UBC, correct?
Yes.
How has that been?
It's been a pretty easy transition for me. I live pretty close to campus. I just live on the Musqueam Reserve, so it's about like maybe a 8 minute drive away. So not terrible. And workload wise, it's not horrible. I'm taking like 4 courses right now, so it's not too much. Feel like I'm able to balance it pretty well.
Mm-hmm. And did you have trouble deciding which courses you wanted to sign up for initially, or what was that
Um,
process like?
I feel like hmm, I don't know. I was a little conflicted on what I wanted to do, like at the beginning of grade 12. Like at first, I wanted to go into business, and then I realized I actually don't like math that much, so it was not an ideal choice for me. So I started to think about things that I was like naturally good at. So I decided to study political science.
Awesome. Um, Political science. Wow. Do you have a favorite course or a favorite?
Favorite course? I'm not really sure. I'm just taking like English, creative writing, and then I have just like required courses for like a poli sci degree. So like Canadian politics and then just politics like 100. But I'd say favorite course right now is probably creative writing because it
Mhm.
is the easiest course. It's just like, I don't know. The other ones are pretty like hefty workloads. So
Hmm. I know that there's definitely a lot of reading in political science. I took quite a few of those courses
yeah.
back in the day. It's actually been a while since I was in school, but I remember when I was in school, the process of selecting classes was always frightening.
hmm
um, it seemed the same as trying to get tickets to a fancy concert
Yeah, you
or any
gotta like
concert.
hop on like registering for courses right away or they will fill up.
Hmm. And I know that they still send out registration times windows, or is
Oh
it?
yeah, we still have registration windows. I think I had like one of the first picks, so I got pretty lucky with that.
Hmm. I remember when I was doing that process, it wasn't something that I had thought about at all
Yeah.
because I didn't really know anyone who had been in school recently. I think my auntie did her bachelor's and then she did her master's, but I didn't pay attention to the whole process of course selection. If she told me, I didn't remember.
Yeah. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about it. I just thought you like picked your courses like closer to the beginning of the school year, but I think I picked my course in like June or something.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a stressful process, but
Hmm. And I remember when I went to school at UBC, even though that was a stressful process, you also had some time to go to the class and to see whether it was the right fit for you.
yeah. Because you have like a drop period or something, so you get to like go to the class and experience it for like maybe 1 or 2 classes. Thankfully, all the courses I picked worked out for me, so I didn't drop any. But
Mhm.
yeah,
Yeah. So there is a little bit of flexibility there still, which is great, but it's definitely something that if I were going back to being a student, I would want to make sure that I take a look at all of the courses and kind of jigsaw them so that I wouldn't have to make as many adjustments.
yeah. I think something I wish I had done before is like do like have you heard of like rate my prof?
I
I
have.
I wish I researched my profs before picking my courses. I feel like that would make things much easier. My profs aren't terrible. I like my profs, but yeah, it's definitely something good to research before picking your courses because I feel like the prof really makes the class.
Hmm. I could definitely see that being the case. Yeah. Um, do you do many activities on campus?
On campus right now, not really. I am a part of the Black Student Union, so um sometimes they have different like social events that I'll try to go to, but other than that, not really. Um, I don't know. I do activities outside of school. So,
Hmm. Would you be interested in sharing a little bit about some
oh
of your
yeah, for sure.
activities?
Right now I really like going to the gym. Weightlifting is something that I do like maybe like 5 times a week. I feel like it's something that's just really helped my mental health. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just love going to the gym. Also, I started doing, well, actually, I'm done regalia making class, but I made my first paddle skirt. So that was something fun that I was doing in my free time like twice a week. I don't know. I just get myself doing like random little like side quests and hobbies. I don't know. It changes all the time.
I feel like making regalia must have been so nice.
Yeah, that was a really fun experience because I also do like openings and welcomes for like public events, and I like you need regalia if you're gonna like
Hmm.
represent your community and everything. So most of the time I wear like a blanket weaving like shawl thing, but now I have a paddle skirt that I can wear to these events, which I'm pretty excited about.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Do you remember what your first event was?
Um, I don't know. I started doing like little random welcomes for small events like UBC's campus radio station, CITR. I think that was the first welcome I did. I was like 14.
Hmm.
But then after that, I think my first big welcome was for the Coldplay concert at like BC Place. That was maybe 2 years ago now. What was it? 2023?
Yep, 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
Yeah. So that was a pretty big event. There was like 50,000 people.
Were
It
you
was,
nervous?
I think before going on stage, I was nervous, but I've had like a lot of experience with public speaking, so I don't know, I wouldn't say I was as nervous as like the typical person doing it. I'm pretty confident with that stuff, but I don't know, when you're actually like on stage, it's not that crazy because like everything's a blur. Like there's just so many lights shining on you and you just don't really see anything.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Have you been doing a lot of welcoming since then?
Yeah, so I'm Musqueam's like youth representative, so I get asked to do a lot of the like open like the Canucks games and I don't know, not I wouldn't say concerts. I feel like Coldplay was the only concert that I did. Hmm, let me think. Yeah, like Canucks games, I did the Grays Cup.
Hmm.
What else have I done? Mostly Canucks games and the Grays Cup, and there was the rugby, something for
Was
rugby.
it rugby sevens?
Rugby sevens. Yeah,
Yeah,
I did that one. And then I also did like the women's soccer league. That one was a fairly recent one.
I've never been to rugby sevens, but I've been downtown when they've had rugby sevens,
Yeah.
and I see everyone in their costumes,
Yeah. It's
and it's definitely pretty fun.
yeah.
Um, is there anything else that you do in your spare time for wellness?
For wellness, well, during the summer, I just started canoe pulling. So that was something that took over a lot of my summer. I've always wanted to do canoe pulling because my cousins did it, but like this year I finally had like free time. And I don't know, I was like doing canoe practice like every single day, like Monday to Friday. And then on the weekends, we'd be like going to different reserves to race. And that was really fun. And it was my first year. So if you're like a first year canoe puller, you get to do these races called greenhorn races. So it's everyone that like is in their first year like competing in a race. And I actually came first in the race. Yeah, I
Congratulations.
was pretty proud about that because I was going against grown men and I came first. So yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit more about the race and what's involved in it?
So we have different types of races, like different canoes. So we have like a single, a double, we have a 6 man, and then we have an 11 man. I came first in singles, so that was the greenhorn race. Um, I don't know. I did a lot of races. I started doing like doubles and singles like towards like the end of the summer. I feel like it takes a lot of like, I don't know, confidence and um like trust in yourself to go out on a
Hmm.
single or a double because like you don't have like 10 other people with you if something goes wrong in the water.
Hmm. And I imagine there's a lot of training involved in
Yeah,
that.
there's a lot of training. I picked it up pretty quickly. I think it's like thanks to me like I don't know. I've been like pretty athletic my whole life, so I feel like I picked it up pretty quickly. Um yeah, we train like every single day. So every single day I was like out on the water for Musqueam. We just train on like the Fraser River. So yeah, it was pretty fun.
Hmm. Are there any big lessons that you learned through canoe pulling?
Um there's just a lot of teachings around the canoe. We're taught that we're like the canoe is like a living thing. It was once like a cedar tree and like it gave its life so that we could use it and like, practice our like cultural traditions and ways. So like we're really taught to like respect ourselves and respect the canoe and we're really taught to like not have negative emotions when we're on the canoe because it really impacts the canoe. Actually, like once we had this race, we were in like I think we were in cultists or something, and it was like the 6 man or the 11 man, and like the girls were just like sort of giving each other attitude, and it was just we were not in good spirits. So we got on that canoe and we actually tipped on the start line. So the canoe will really just tell on you if you're not, following those teachings. So yeah, that was a funny experience.
Mhm. Mhm. I'm just thinking about how cold that must have been.
Oh, that water was very cold. I think it wasn't terrible though. It was like in June or something. So, and it was also a lake. I feel like lakes are much warmer than ocean water.
Hmm.
Also we've been in some pretty nasty water. Like from like the waters just aren't very clean in Canada. I don't know. Like in BC.
I was gonna say the lake is probably nicer than the
It
river,
was much nicer
and
than the river. Our river is it's not nice water.
and then our rivers flow so quickly,
Oh
so
yeah,
it's
like
nerve wracking.
especially the Fraser River, like the current is crazy. There's also we've heard there's like an undercurrent. So
Hmm.
like when I was like training on singles, I had to stay really close to the shore or else something. I don't know what could have happened. I'm alive, so.
Hmm. I think my favorite quote from a book is that I was raised by a river.
Oh yeah.
And I think it was from braiding sweetgrass, but I would have to check. But I love that so much because you learn so many lessons from the river.
Yeah.
And hearing about your experience with canoe pulling, you can definitely see that.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like canoe pulling is something that I definitely see myself doing for like the rest of my life. I don't know. I wish I like started canoe pulling sooner. I feel like I actually just have so much fun. It's like not only like a physical like it's not like a physical activity like a sport, but also it's like a cultural practice. So I feel like I don't know, and like I feel like canoe pulling has helped me in so many different aspects of my life.
I
Yeah.
could see it being like a big connection to community.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like I connected with so many more people from my community. I made more friends along the way. And yeah, it was overall just a really amazing experience.
Hmm. And then you also probably have like a nice variety of folks that you connect with.
Yeah.
And I always like connecting with um, folks who are different ages than me, especially if they're older and I can learn something.
Hmm.
Always listening.
Yeah.
um, when you first started canoe pulling, was there anything that you needed to do to prepare for it?
I don't know. It was mostly me like mentally preparing to like, I don't know, like feel like canoe pulling is like really a commitment because you're not just committing to like you actually doing the activity or committing to like the whole club. So like
Mhm.
if one person, like I said, like we have like an 11 man canoe, so we need 11 people at least for practice. So if you don't show up to practice, then you're just like negatively impacting like the rest of your club. So I don't know. I feel like I've really just learned that like a canoe club is more like a family, if anything.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And it's also a good opportunity to work on like the mental part of your being.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's not only like physically demanding, but mentally too. Like sometimes we're out on the water for like 2 hours at a time. I think we paddled from like Musqueam to like the River Rock and back, and that's like a pretty long paddle, I will say.
How long did it take?
I'd say it was like an hour and 45 minutes, I think. Yeah. It was, or maybe 2 hours. I'd say 2 hours. Yeah.
Definitely need to have some strong arms.
Yeah. No, I got really buff at the end of the summer. I was like, I felt real strong.
It's always good to feel real strong.
Yeah.
My favorite joke here on our team is that we train specifically to move things.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you've ever been to a conference and you've seen the Indigenous Youth Wellness team, we always have a lot of swag.
Oh.
So we try to stay fit so we
Yeah.
can carry the swag around.
Yeah. No, I was so buff. My grandma was like, "Can you bring the groceries in for me?" I was like, "Yeah." She didn't even ask my dad. She asked me first.
It's like, not a problem. I've got this.
I got this.
Just the whole arm filled with bags.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's always nice to be able to help out family in that way. Is there anything that you're looking forward to as you finish up your first year of university?
I'm not sure. I'm sort of just going with the flow right now. I don't know. I feel like I want to look for more like language opportunities. I just finished this past year. I just finished the third year of like FNEL with UBC, so I've been learning Hunkaminam for the past 3 years. So that was like, I don't know, just I like with language learning. I was also working at the Museum of Anthropology again because I'm also a Native Youth Program alumni. So I worked there for like 3 years, a part of the Native Youth Program. But then because I'm an alumni, I came back to join the Cultural Interpreters Initiative. So like with the part of that, I like was giving tours, but I was also doing like storytelling and different like hands-on learning experiences for the museum guests. And with the storytelling, because I learned Hunkaminam these past 3 years, I was able to like read to kids in Hunkaminam, which I thought was an awesome experience.
That sounds like so much fun.
Yeah.
And then that's a summer program, correct?
Yeah, it is a summer program. But the Cultural Interpreters Initiative is like for like post high school Indigenous youth, because like the Native Youth Program is for like Indigenous youth that are like 15 to 18, but like the Cultural Interpreters Initiative is like for after. They wanted to like figure out a way to like sort of expand the program past high school students.
That's really exciting. Is it a new program? Or?
Yeah, it is a new program. I think they started sometime in the fall of last year, so I think very end of like 2024. I was working as a cultural interpreter like this summer. So
do you have any advice for folks who are looking to learn their language?
My advice, I feel like with learning the language, I had to realize that I'm not just like learning the language so I could like introduce myself. It's more like I'm trying to like preserve our culture and our language for future generations, because like we always hear that like youth are the future, and like people don't really like take it as seriously as they should, because like if you're not learning your language and if you're not practicing your cultural traditions, then like who will, and who's going to be able to pass it on? So I feel like that's something that's really important to remember with your language, and it's like a hard process. You're literally learning another language. Like it's gonna take you a few years. Even though I like finished the third year of the language course, like I have so much that I still need to learn, and like I'm only in the beginning stages of my language learning journey. So yeah, it's something that I'm excited to still go through the whole process of learning.
Yeah. Whenever I think of language learning, I always think of pronunciation.
Yeah.
And how much work goes into learning how to pronounce things correctly, especially when there are sounds that are new.
Yeah, I feel like especially with Hunkaminam, there's so many like sounds in the language that English speakers aren't like used to saying. So it was definitely difficult. Like my brain had to just like switch when I was learning the language, but it's hard, but it's worthwhile.
It's also so cool to be able to be in spaces where other folks are speaking the language and to understand
Yeah.
more than just a couple of words.
Yeah.
But with that being said, I am so excited to be able to understand a couple of words.
Mm-hmm.
Since we are a wellness-based podcast, do you have any advice about wellness that you would share with folks that you know
Need
or with youth?
with youth. I'm someone that really prioritizes physical activity. So I feel like getting outside, going for a walk, being in nature, like I feel like we can really overlook that stuff. I feel like me, like I've been going to the gym for maybe like three years now, and I've noticed that like it's really just helped me like just stimulate my mind and like I don't know, just being cooped up in your room all day, like going on your phone isn't really it's not good. Sometimes it can also make like schoolwork hard. Like sometimes when I'm doing like homework or something, I make sure that I go on a walk or get outside and then I can get back to it and work harder. Yeah.
Mhm. I've heard from a lot of folks that it's really good to be able to incorporate breaks into whatever you're
Yeah.
doing when
Yeah.
you're in school.
Yeah, it's super important. Give yourself that time. Also spending time with family if you have family. I feel like I don't know, we always focus on like spending time with friends, but like just spending time with your like mom or your sister or your cousins, like I don't know, I feel like that's always helped me, like just doing random activities with them.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And it's so good to be close.
Yeah, it is. Just not doesn't even have to be like family, just like, people around you, like I don't know.
Just making sure that you maintain your connections and that
Yeah,
you're
for
filling your
sure.
cup.
Yeah.
I think that it's so wonderful that you're learning your language and that you're so involved in community and that you've got activities that you can do year round and activities that are based in the summer.
Mhm.
Um, is there anything else that you would like to share?
So the language process, I feel like learning the language was actually like fairly easy for me because I had like my auntie works in like the language department. So she was like a really good tutor.
Mhm.
Honestly, I don't think I would have gone through 3 years of the language program without my auntie like being there to like not only like push me to like try harder, but also to like help me with different sounds in the language and just like be a really good like tutor and mentor with that whole process.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then for your language classes, were they usually in person or were they ever on
Yeah,
Zoom?
so and they were in person. All of the classes were in person. I had class like twice a week and it was like after school time. So I decided to in grade 10, I started taking the language program instead of taking like French or Spanish. I've just like always struggled with learning French. I don't know. I don't know if anyone else has struggled with learning French. I don't know. So I just decided to start taking the language. So I got like a spare block to
Mhm.
help like with like managing like homework and everything because the language course is like taken with UBC.
Mhm.
So I was getting my credit for it and everything. Um, but yeah, class was in person and there was like no like online submission or anything. So I thought that like made the whole process for me much easier with like learning. And also it's a very oral language. So
Mhm.
like yeah, you can learn to like write the language, but actually speaking it is what really helps you learn.
Mhm. Has it been how has the process of learning how to speak and write at the same time been?
It's definitely difficult. I'd say I'm better at speaking the language than I am with writing it. Um, which I don't know. Like I'm good at reading the language. Like I if you give it to me on a piece of paper, like I can read it very well. it's like a matter of like remembering the spelling in my head and actually like writing it down on paper. That's a
Mhm.
little bit difficult, but yeah, with time I'll get better at it.
Mhm. But I think it's so cool to be able to look at a page and to read everything that is on the page,
Yeah.
or most of what's on the page.
Yeah, like there's like I can yeah, like I said, I can read the language very well. Like even if there's a word that I don't necessarily know, I know that I know like the sounds for every letter and symbol, so I'll be able to read it. It's
Mhm.
just like the memorization, understanding translations of the words.
Mhm. Are there any big lessons that you've learned through learning language?
I think I already touched on it before, just like you're not just learning it for yourself, you're learning it for your community. Also we have one of our like oldest elders in our community, Larry Grant, helps to teaches the language. So I don't know, I really tried to not take that for granted how I'm like literally learning the language from one of our elders.
Mhm.
So not only were we learning the language, but he was also like giving us like stories and like teachings throughout the classes, which I really appreciated.
I think that's really awesome. And then to be able to take what you've learned from there into your jobs and other spaces. I remember
Yeah.
you told us about reading to the young children.
Yeah, I was reading to little kids at the Museum of Anthropology, but I was also reading to kids at the UBC Longhouse. So I was reading Hunkamina books. There have been multiple times that I've read Hunkamina books to kids, but yeah, it was just awesome because, like I said, I was in the Native Youth Program, and in the program, like one of the biggest things we do is like tour guide training and public speaking and writing like scripts and everything. We also do podcasting. So
Mhm.
we've written, directed, and like recorded our own podcasts. So I feel like just the mix of like NYP Native Youth Program and also like language learning has helped me with like so many different activities that I've done.
Yeah, and you
Yeah.
can probably also carry that into your schooling now.
Yeah, for sure. That's actually why I decided to do like political science. In the program, we also talk about like Indigenous rights, like, and everything, and like how using your voice is important. And I don't know, I always like believe that using your voice is a political choice.
Mhm.
Like if you don't speak up on issues, then like they're never going to get resolved and everything. And I think that's really important. So that's why I decided to do political science because I feel like I don't know, it's a degree where I can like give back to my community and like help my people.
Mhm.
Because I also want to like potentially go into law after my bachelor's, so that's something that I'm thinking about.
Mhm. That's so exciting. Um, um, Thank you so much for joining us on the podcast
Yeah.
this afternoon.
Thank you for having me.
I really hope that I can see you reading stories one day.
Yeah.
I think that would be so much fun if we could go to the Museum of Anthropology
Yeah.
and get a tour.
Oh yeah. I'm a great tour guide, I can't lie. Yeah.